Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be working with some Brutus Monroe stamps from his set called Catching Dreams, and we're also going to be playing with some of the Arteza Holographic Chunky Glitter because we're going to be making a shaker card. I hope you'll stay tuned. So the first thing I wanted to do, I have my MISTI here. I took a piece of cardstock and I cut it to 5 inches by 7 inches, and then I used a die and I cut out this centerpiece. It's sad that the piece that has the cute little holes cut out of it is the piece you don't use, but anyway, what are you going to do about that? I did put washi tape on it that I'd run over my skin so it wouldn't pull the paper, but I don't know if you can see this. I always put it so it's on the inside of what I'm cutting out if I'm not using the inside, like in this case. And then if I pull it off and it rips the paper, like in this case, see how it ripped the paper? Then you don't have to worry about it. But if I had put it on the outside, even though I ran it over my skin to make sure it wasn't overly sticky, it's still stuck. So that's just my recommendation on how to avoid a problem like that. Then let's see what we're going to do next. Here is the set of stamps that we're going to be using. Hopefully I'll put it on this gray background so you can see it. This is our card base. Our card is going to be a 5 by 7 card. So I think, no, that's not it, but anyway. Here's the stamp set we're going to be using. And again, it's called Catching Dreams. It's $23.99 if you buy it from their store. It was really nice of them. They sent me one of their inspiration boxes, but I don't think that it's like a monthly subscription kit, but I don't think they do it anymore, because when I went online to check the information on it, I could not find any information on their subscription box. They have different subscriptions that are smaller, like a stamp set or a small stamp kit, or an embossing powder kit, or aqua pigment kits, but they don't have a full box like this one was in. I was going to stamp my 3 feathers on the acetate, but that didn't seem to work well for me, so I'm going to go with stamping it on the card base instead, and hopefully we'll get a good impression. I'm using my Baren on it to try and make sure that I can get a good impression on all of them. I just don't have the strength to push through the MISTI lid. I don't know if that happened to any of the rest of you, but that Baren really helped me out. It gives me a little bit more leverage, and I seem to get better results when I use it. Because when I use my forearm, I get big bruises. Okay, I'll show you how I normally do it, which I shouldn't, but I'm going to anyway, because I can't get by that magnet. I think I need a little more ink up there. And then I'm going to move the magnet too. Okay, one more time. I know other people told me that when I use the Baren, I shouldn't slide it or I should put felt on it, but I'm not having, when I put the felt on it, I'm worried that I'm not going to get as good of an impression as I want. Much better. Let me take out my acetate. And then I'm going to decide for a second what I'm going to do. I just can't decide what I want to do with this. I'm going to put my plastic back in there so I can play with it a little bit. Get some of my clear embossing powder to work on here. Okay. I think I'm going to heat set this and then go back and do this. Do the front where I put the words on. see how nice and shiny everybody is? See that? Okay, so let's put this back in the box for just a second. I was thinking about just leaving it in on the paper, but I'm going to do the words next on that little strip. So here is the piece that I'm going to stamp. Hopefully, that in the middle. And what I want it to say is, may all your dreams come true. I'll put that at the very bottom. And you know how I am with my sentiments. I like to stamp them 2 or 3 times because I want them to be dark. You know how people will stamp once and they say, okay, that looks good. Well, mine always comes out like this. See how this May All Your Dreams is just kind of gray? I don't want it gray. I want it to be dark black. Hopefully that worked. I'll do that E. Alright. Hopefully everything's not too dry. You never know. Looks like it's doing pretty good. See that? Everything seems to be well inked and powdered. Okay. So then I was thinking that since this is going to be like this, like that, it would be nice if I had another feather doing something. I was trying to figure out where I could put a small feather. Well, I don't know. What do you think? Will it work? I don't know. I just want this to have more feathers on it than it currently has. Okay, so let's see if I can do another one in the bottom left-hand corner. Ink it up. See what my Baren will do. Okay. And then we'll heat them, and they'll be ready to play. I think it looks okay, and since I'm going to have things inside to, you know, like shaker things, I think that'll be cool. But I do want to get my alcohol markers and color these in a little bit better. So let me grab those, and we'll be ready to play. I want to make sure I have this stamp set from Tailored Expressions. It's a graduation set, and here's the set. It's called Dream Big. I really like this set if you need to do any graduation ones. It's got a lot of really good sayings, including this circle and all the numbers for a class of, and in this case, 19. Well, I wasn't sure if I would be able to make this work or not, because when you're looking at these kinds of stamps, you don't necessarily know where they're going to land on the final product. When you're talking about red rubber, you know, red rubber has a mind of its own. You can't see it like you can through clear stamp. So what I'm doing is, well, what I was doing right there is I was trying to clean up one side of my 9. What I want to do is get as close as I can to the 1, and of course the top isn't the same height. Ugh. Whoever trimmed these, probably me, didn't do the greatest job. Okay, so what I did is I put a piece of acetate right there, What I'm going to do is see how this class of 19 ends up stamped. Is it in the center? Is it crooked? Or is the 1 in the right spot? Is the 9 in the right spot? Is the 1 or 9 angled? These are the things you find out when you stamp it like this. I think it's pretty good. The 1 and 9 are pretty far apart. I can always make that closer together just by trimming off the edge. I love red rubber stamps. I'll be honest, I can stamp all day with clear acrylic stamps, and I swear I never get the impression I get with red rubber. I just really like red rubber stamps. I know they're not as convenient because you can't see through them. That is problematic, but they're so much more deeply etched. I just really like working with them. I think I'm going to ink the middle of these with a little bit of alcohol ink. I'm not going to put a ton of ink on there because I don't want it to bleed through to the other side, but I do just want to have I just want it to look nice. Okay. And then I think I'm going to make a little, I didn't find one of these little deals when I was looking. We're going to go with that. It's as good as I can do. So that's the inside of our card. This is the outside of our card. So now I'm going to color the outside of our card with some of these. I've got a bunch of different colors of alcohol markers, and there are, I'll give you the numbers. They are cool gray 3, 5, and 6, and then in the brown 99, 100, 101, and 107. I have a couple feathers, and I think I'm going to put them inside, but look at the brightness of those colors, and we'll see if we can kind of replicate in the different pieces, the different places on this feather that you can color in. I'm having a hard time seeing this because of the glare. Here's what we're going to do next. We're going to take our clear acetate and we're going to attach it, wet glue, and I'm going to do it on the inside of this part, right up to the edges, to make sure that I have it well adhered, but then I'm also going to make sure that I have the edges of my acetate making sure it's nice and attached like that. I got a little glue seeping out. If you do, wipe it off. Now's your time to wipe things off because before we glue everything together. Now I'm going to get this out of the way. And now I don't know how you do yours, but The important thing here is that you're going to put your foam on the back of this, but you're also going to make sure that your foam is as close as you can get it to the edges, and I'll show you what I mean. Not the edges of the card, the edges of the inside. So now I've got the whole back covered with my foam tape, and I want to make sure that I don't have a lot of my sequins sticking to the side. So what I'm going to do, this is the powder put, it's got cornstarch in it. I made it myself. This is what I use for embossing powders, to make sure that they don't stick to the sides of things. So I'm hoping that I can make sure that this also works with this card. Next thing I want to do, I want to get these are my Arteza. These come in different colors, but this is diamond and fancy. It's glitter, but it's holographic, and it's not little, it's bigger. You know, it's kind of a, trying to get it open and pull it out for you so you can see the bottles better. There's the gold, and here's the silver. I really like them. They're really they really catch the light, and they're really pretty. So I think what I'm going to do is put a little bit of gold and a little bit of silver in here. When you're doing anything with shaker cards, you don't want so much of this stuff in here that you can't see your background. You just want it to be able to shake around. So I'm going to put a little bit of silver in. Woo! Probably too much. We're going with it anyway. I'm digging it. Now, I'm going to try and lay this exactly where I want it. So here's our card. Here's all the shakers inside. I like it. And then on the inside I have this congratulations. And what I want to do, see, this is where the that's where the alcohol marker came through, and we don't want that to stay there. So what I'm going to do, well, we do want it to stay there, but we don't want it to be seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my glue, and I'm going to just put a little drop of it right there and move it up on the card a little bit. And then I'm going to take one of my feathers and just lay it there. For now, I'm just going to hold it for a second. Ooh. Of course it didn't want to stay. Why would it? I'm going to pick up the bottom of it. And then I'm going to have one little feather inside the card. Put that one in there. Get my glue out of there. And I'm going to take my pouch that I use for embossing, and I'm going to use it on my background, and I'm just going to push all of that into the inside of the card so that when he opens the card, this is for our great nephew who's graduating from high school, so when he opens the card, there's a little bit of this in here. It's not huge amounts. That's how much is in there. It's not a lot. And then I'm going to put that feather in there so it's loose inside. And there's our card. I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, by the way, the great people at Arteza sent me these for free, and they said that they would give you 10% off these. So I'll put the discount code right here so that you can also get a 10% off on this if you're interested in it. And I know it comes in other colors, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that all the colors would be included with the 10% discount. But I really like the gold and silver because I think they're really, you know, they really catch the light. But anyway, I'm excited about that. They're such nice people. They continue to support my channel, and I love that about them. You know, I don't make any money from them. I only get the products from them. I don't get any money back from any purchases you might make. I want to make sure I tell you that again. I always like to make sure I tell you that, because I'm not trying to get you to buy things. I just want to make sure you see these products and know that Arteza has them and that they're available for you with a discount. So I hope that you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about me on social media, because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.